She is completely unexplainable. You think she's a good girl, but once you get to know her, you realize she is everything. She's crazy, she's funny, she's honest, and you will never know what she'll be doing next.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we're back. This is wonderful. And I'm here with Nicole Chanis today. And Nicole just started another podcast called, go ahead.
It's 50s AF Podcasts. Otherwise, you can find our website at 50spodcast.com.
Exactly. And we met at her launch party. She's just been marketing the heck out of this thing. And so we met this week at her launch party, and it's just really exciting. And actually, we've gotten to know each other a little bit. We found out we're the exact same age,
yes,
55.
Yes.
50s plus. I was going to put 50s plus, but we're 55 and we're proud of it.
Heck yeah.
And I decided this is the year of Tracy 2024. Tracy 2024.
Ooh, I like that.
24.
Nice. Yeah.
I told my sister, I said, I decided it's the year of Tracy. And I said, kind of like the year of George, because my sister and I always like making fun of Seinfeld. And she said, well, Tracy, the year of George didn't go so well. So how about Tracy 2024? And I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's a good idea. So anyway, but what the year of Tracy 2024 is about getting a cleaning lady, sleeping in the morning. All my life, I've gotten right up and bright and early. I still wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock, but sometimes I don't get right out of bed anymore. I used to get up and have to get to the gym or had to do something for the kids or something like that. But you know what? Now at this time in my life, I'm finally able to sleep in. Hey, the gym's not going to go anywhere. And in fact, I can just do some push-ups in my house and do some sit-ups in my house. And that might just be just as good. What do you think, Nicole?
You know, I don't understand. I really don't understand people that have that energy at 5 a.m. to work out. I'm in REM sleep still. I'm like, I don't understand. And like they do, and that's great. But oh my goodness, I can never do that.
Now tell me, Nicole, so you have been through a lot. We've done a little bit of talking, and you've told me some intimate things about what you've gone through, and I just want to know, so here we are right now, we're both 55, we're dating again. What brought you to this point? What brought you to this point where you're like, I think I'm going to start a podcast?
That is a very big question to answer. Okay, so, you know, it's kind of like making lemonade out of lemons. I know that's an expression, but I found myself becoming a very young widow. And my story is I did have a fairy tale marriage. And then that all ended one day when he was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And then it switched the flip. I mean, you know, basically flip the switch. We were no longer going to just enjoy those empty nester years. So I jumped into the caretaking years.
Right.
And that journey. And then, you know.
And at such a young age.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was really devastating.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, it was a real journey. And, you know, we'll talk about whatever points you want to talk about it. But, you know, it's everything about, there's no book on how to handle that in real life book. I mean, there's no real rules. So when I was going through the process, and then thereafter, my best friends were like, you know what, you've been through so much. You could actually be really helpful to women preparing for that.
Exactly.
And then there's the women that it's not about preparing for being a widow. The life lessons I learned, every woman should know. And then it was about putting my life back together. One day taking those sheets off and going, okay, Nicole, if you don't start getting anything back together, who's going to do it for you?
And that's when we were talking the other day, that's what I heard, was you saying, well, I should have known this, I should have known that, I should have known this. And I just want to say, what I learned this past year, like sometimes you got to have someone tell you these things. Mm-hmm. Like I shared in my first podcast that I was raped. And I came home from the rape, and I was drugged, and I woke up the next morning, and I still felt like I was drugged, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know you're supposed to go to the hospital and get checked out. I didn't know that. I just try to keep going, doing what I do, because I didn't know any better. So I thought, hearing what you have gone through and what you have learned about losing your spouse, I thought, you probably can share some really valuable information. Like, what is the first thing that you would say that someone should know when they know they're going to be going through this, or when they don't know?
Right. And that's the thing. I was married to a man that was very old school, and it was romantic. You know, he took care of everything, and just, you know, don't worry about anything, honey. And let me tell you, if I could go backwards, I would never have lived that life, because, you know, I didn't know any account numbers, any passwords. I didn't know where the money was flowing, nothing. And that was okay, because we were married, and, you know, you don't expect these things to happen. So luckily, I don't know what it is, but one day I said, you know, when we're buying a house, I want to go half in, each of us, monetarily wise. I want to be on the deed, and I want to lease a car under my name. Had I not done those two things when he passed, good
Wow.
luck getting utility bill. I mean,
Right.
good luck having a credit history. Women, this really applies to not just becoming a widow. This applies in general. A lot of women, especially in their 50s older, we're used to the old-fashioned ways if you're married. And, you know, we allow and we embrace, some of us, you know, there are some that are partners with their husband, but there are a lot that just kind of did what I did, which is, okay, you know, he's taking care of everything. So going backwards, I'm really happy I did those two things.
Right.
And then it is, of course, getting your affairs in order. Always have your affairs in order. And I think transparency, communication is really important, because if anything does happen, you need to know everything. That's a start.
And I know most of my viewers here are men, and so men, please, like, help the situation out here. You know, help your wife if something should happen to you.
Yeah.
Be prepared, right?
Yeah, and I think that that's something that men need to understand. It's not that we are not counting on you or questioning you. I think, you know, so many people will prepare a living will, a trust, whatever you may call it, but they forget to share all the information with their wife, not realizing that if something, God forbid, happens, she doesn't even know where to get money. I did not know where to get $1 from. Not
my
$1
goodness.
while I'm taking care of him.
Right.
I mean, for example, there was one day we did have an emergency fund when he got diagnosed. And when I took over legally, and, you know, I go to look at the account, there's $0 in there. And I said to him, because he still was cognitive, I said, wait, it says $0. He goes, where did it go? He goes, I don't remember.
Aw.
Now, had I known the account number, had I been on top of it, I wouldn't have found myself in that situation. So, you know, these are the small stuff that make a big difference. And men, just
sure.
don't be intimidated by including your wife or your partner, is what I would say.
Well, and I think too, sometimes don't men get like, well, nothing's gonna happen to me. What, you think something's gonna happen to me? You know, nobody needs to do anything. Don't worry about it, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's what I'm saying. It's not an ego thing. You really need to be transparent with communication and not.
Because you do love your spouse, right?
Yes.
And you want to make sure they're taken care of.
Yeah.
If anything, God forbid, should happen, right?
Yeah. And, you know, I think a lot of people spend so much time on concentrating on a trust, a living will, not realizing that these small deals, these small things are really important.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, so now that you've gone through it, you've learned what you've learned, is there anything else that we should know before we start talking about something else?
You know, nothing can prepare you for, you know, if you have time like I did, unfortunately, for years. But I've always wanted to tell people that it's really better to have everything in order, because I was so busy keeping up and keeping with finances. I didn't get to be with my husband and spend those last
Right.
years where he hadn't slipped away. And I lost time because these affairs were not in order. And so my only advice is think about that. And the other thing is, everything that he said he never wanted me to do, at the end of the day, no matter how many aides I had helping me, I'm the only one he wanted to do to his, to the end. And so be prepared. Keep the honest communication going. I think it's a difficult subject to breach in a marriage or a
Sure,
partnership.
it always is.
But I think you have to keep it real. And I think to be loving to each other, you have to sit down and have that hard conversation.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Nicole. Okay, so now that you're single, you've been single for how long now?
Well, June 21, technically, yes.
So June 21, that's actually my wedding anniversary from my ex-husband. That's
Wow.
funny. That's funny.
Wow.
Dum-dum.
Wow, there you go. Lucky
Jeez,
number.
that's crazy. I didn't know that either. Okay, so where do you find eligible men now?
Wow. That's a really interesting question because we dive into this on the podcast at so many angles, and it's so great because what people don't realize is that dating in your 50s as a woman is really powerful. And I think so many women feel deflated. Like, they've lost their self-esteem. They go on first dates and they're like, why didn't he call me back, et cetera, et cetera. So that answer can be different for everybody. For me personally, what I like to talk about on the podcast are many different things. I call it the non-variable list versus a variable list, which is something that we'll cover that goes into really like loving yourself is number one, falling in love with yourself. And then creating a list that is like, you know what, if this person doesn't have these traits, this is not going to work. These are my things, my love language, my values, things that I must have. The variable list, okay, he likes my music, this and that. So, today's society, obviously the answer is social media. And, it can be a good tool. It doesn't have to be one that like, oh, God, I got to spend 2 hours going on there. There are ways to make it useful. But
Right.
at the end of the day, I believe in pre-dating before you go on the first date. I know you are different on this.
We talked yesterday.
Yeah.
I was on Nicole's podcast, and it hasn't shown yet, but I'll show it to you when I get it on my Being Tracy page. But we have very different ideas, and it was actually awesome because we did not agree on most things.
And it was really funny because I was the conservative one. And, I think most people would not
I'm
have.
a little bit more flexible, as they say.
And I think that's wonderful. And I think that, so it was really refreshing, once we do launch that podcast, that you will see the dynamics between us, same age, single, and how different we answered questions. It was really a good time to get to know each other and come from different perspectives on that. So for me, listen, there's no one answer, right? Would you agree? There's just no one
totally
answer.
Agree. Everybody, there were people in the podcast studio that were hearing our differing beliefs, and they were agreeing with Nicole sometimes and agreeing with me sometimes. So you know what? There's people out there that's what these are for, right? To reach the masses with the different opinions.
I think though you'll agree with me though. One thing is first you have to love yourself. I mean, I think it's really important. How can you find love if you don't love yourself?
Well, that's true.
And I do think that's like, between us, still a general stepping stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's something we do have in common. We have chosen to better ourselves. And one of the ways that we're bettering ourselves now is we've each started a podcast here within the last year. So anyway, we're trying to better ourselves and also help you to learn from maybe our mistakes or maybe what we found that's working right. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's we've been on a journey. And everybody has a different
journey. We're
both on a journey. And they can be really different. But you know what? In having a podcast, having these avenues of communicating with other women, I think the most important thing...
Or men.
And
you men, stay on there.
Men,
stay on there. Don't turn off the TV.
Yep. No. I mean, I have mostly men listening to mine. Men are embracing it. Yes. And they're really embracing learning, And so I think, what I like and what brings me to doing this and the joy is knowing that I'm reaching a whole audience out there of women that may feel deflated and lonely and not knowing how to pick up the pieces. You're not alone. We're a community. Lift each other up. And, it's a safe place, where they're just listening or watching to know you're not alone. And there are ways to make it successful and different tools, and you're just not alone. We all have these struggles, whether it's menopause and dating guys with not feeling great about your body. You're not alone. We all go through that.
Okay, Nicole. Now my last question for you is, how would you like to see your life grow and change this year? Like it's the beginning of 2024. Do you make goals? Do you believe in making goals?
I actually do not. I have not done that, to be honest, but...
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It doesn't have to be your thing. I just wondered if you do that.
I have found, honestly, I'm an empty nester. I'm a widow. I'm a mother. But you know what it is? What is my identity without those things? And so my journey has been coming into 2024 on top of the world. So
Right.
like, I no longer need a title, mom, wife. I think for me, I'm already setting the stage for where I want to go in 2024. I'm really happy where I am.
Good.
And I didn't see this journey coming. So when my friends see me and everything, they're like, Nicole, you are just strong. You're so happy. We're excited for you. So to answer your question, I just want to continue on this path.
Good.
I love being independent. I love being like my own boss. I love reaching out to people and helping people. And where that journey goes is just endless.
Awesome. Well, I see the paintings around us. I want to point out Ken Bieberman's paintings around us.
Beautiful.
He is so very talented. And if you give the code word Tracy, Tracy, when you're ordering one of these, he will give you a discount. So anyway, next we are going to have the very famous blog time. So we're going to just have a quick message right now, and then we're going to come back for blog time.
Like I'm mind blown. Like I can't understand it.
I've been very open-minded my whole life, but I feel like this definitely blew my mind.
You're going to get blown away. I was not expecting, and I don't think I believe what I saw.
He is just so incredible.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Excellent show.
Hey, welcome back to Being Tracy with your host, me, Tracy. Be a part of the show by calling 888-994-4995, Studio A. Now back to the show. We're back. And you know what? It's blog time. Now you can go to my blog at www.beingtracy.com if you want to read the full blog, but I have cut it down a little bit. You're going to have to post underneath the video here if you like it when I do that, or if you rather I just read the whole thing. But at my last studio, they were saying, maybe not read the whole thing. Maybe just like make some keynote things, whatever. So anyway, my blog this time is called Desperate or Hopeful. Okay. So it's all a perception, right? This is a story I wrote when I lived in Coral Gables 2 years ago. I met a friend that to be honest, I'm not even sure which friend this is because I changed his name in my blog to Chuck. I think I named it Chuck. But anyway, I don't really remember which friend that was. But anyway, Chuck, after a couple of drinks, one of my male friends, we'll call him Chuck, said to me that he heard that I am desperate to find a man. Ooh. He was giving me tips on how not to appear that way, and then warned me of the type of men who were in Coral Gables.
He was trying to
Okay,
school
so
you?
then I went home and looked up desperate. I looked it up in the dictionary. Here's the definition. A feeling showing or involving a hopeless sense that a situation is so bad as to be impossible to deal with.
Oh, so are you?
Does this, I mean, was this me? Was this the perception I'm giving? I was like, what? Okay, so then, but before I went home and looked up, I didn't like pull over to the side of the talking to him and look it up in my dictionary. I waited until I got home, but that's what I found when I got home. Anyway, Chuck is a good friend and has known me since I moved to Coral Gables just a few months ago. So I wrote this, when I moved there. We met during my home search. He has become my buddy, and we usually meet once every other week or two at a happy hour to catch up with some friends. Chuck was resistant to tell me who said this because he said I would be able to figure out this person who I found out was someone I'd never even met, and it was his brother.
Ooh.
And so he heard this through someone who's never even met me. This was startling to me. I'm not going to lie. It was also very disappointing and disturbing. What am I doing to put off this aura to anyone around me? How could people be so misunderstanding me, Nicole?
I don't know, but I would definitely not classify you as desperate. No. And I know I'm not.
I didn't mean to be putting that off.
Yeah.
So then Chuck and I continued walking down the Miracle Mile to Boolia, which if you know Coral Gables, that's where we all went, to see our friends there. First friend offered to buy me a drink, and then someone said something to me to reflect, Be careful of me as I want to get married.
What? What?
What?
What?
Clearly, this is due to the video blogs that I've been putting on my Facebook Being Tracy page that week that I had started dating again. Okay, so now I'm dating again. I'm putting out there that I'm dating again, and everybody's freaking out. Oh, my God, she wants to get married. She's desperate. Be careful.
gosh.
Watch out for her. This morning, the whole thing is laughable to me when I wrote the blog. Who in this life wants to be alone? Anyone who says they do isn't truly sharing their heart. Also, goes back to my mother's wise words, people assess situations and read people as they are, not as they are. Desperate to you is hopeful to me. The fact that someone saw me as desperate says much more about what they are going through than what I'm going through.
100%.
I am honest. I'm open and honest that true love, I want my true love. Why settle for anything less? Nicole?
Not gonna settle.
No.
Nope.
I'm looking for my soul partner. But make no mistake, I've been single for at least 11 years at that time, and now it's been 13. And so I've had more than a couple of chances to settle for less than I deserve. But I would not say that what others see as desperate. I would say what other people see as desperate is just hope. I'm just hopeful.
I think that's
and I'm
great.
positive. And I believe that there's a wonderful person out there for me to spend my life with, right?
Yeah, I absolutely feel the same way. I don't want to go through this walk of life alone.
Like, can you believe people in Miami would perceive me that way?
No,
That's really
no.
seriously, that's Miami, I would say.
No, and you're like the last person I would put that. There are plenty of people in Miami that definitely fall under that category, not you.
All right. So I wake up each day with a new hope that someone that I find very special will find me. And you know what? Someday someone will. Until then, I will keep getting up and dating and enjoying each adventure and meeting as it comes and learn from it what I can. And that's more than I wanted to read. I don't know if it didn't cut out everything I cut out. But anyway, that's just something that I wanted to bring up here, because when we're all dating and searching and having fun and meeting people, some people in their negative frame of mind will see that as desperate. What do you think of that, Nicole?
I think that your description of hopeful is the way to go. Desperate? No. And I think men, you need to hear that. That, dating in our 50s is empowering. And it doesn't make us desperate. People are looking for different things in a partner, but you know what? That's okay to get out there and date. That's the whole point. If you choose not to be alone, how do you ever change the vernacular if you just don't get out there and date?
Exactly.
Yes. That
What are you
doesn't make
supposed
you
to do?
desperate. You're
What are you
not
supposed
desperate.
to do? Stay home? Not do anything?
What is Mr. Right going to fall in your lap? Right? No.
No, he's not. So you got to get out there and be active and do your thing, and that's going to attract the kind of person you want to be with, I think.
I agree.
Is that what
I
you
agree.
think? Okay, I don't want to waste too much time before we get to the next portion of our show called How Does It Make You Feel?
Ooh.
Okay, so I had some crazy things come up this week, Nicole.
How crazy?
Well, let's see what you think.
Okay.
Okay, now one thing that I just want to know what you think about men that don't put their height in their dating profile.
Oh my gosh.
How does that make you feel,
Oh
Nicole?
my
Do you
God,
think
oh my
I've
God.
got to meet this guy? He
Like,
must be my dream man. I have no idea how tall he is. Does it matter?
height or that he lied and didn't put it in? Which one are
So
you
you'd
asking?
say by not putting it in, he's a
That's
liar.
like a
As
lie.
my mom used to say, liar.
Yeah, that's like a process of omission lie. I'm not putting it out there for
I
a
agree.
purpose.
I totally agree with
Yeah,
you.
it's not
I'm like-
representing himself.
Well, it's like I almost don't even feel like swiping right, because it's like, well, for sure he's short. Now I'm wondering how short,
Right.
and then
Right.
it's happened to me before where I've asked how tall they are, and they bring their joke is to say they're like 4 foot tall. And that's another one. It's like, oh my gosh.
No, but it does matter. I mean, like if you are a woman like myself, I'm not tall. I'm 5'3.5". But if I'm gonna put on some nice heels and the guy is only 5'5", and that's what Some people that matters, some people it doesn't. But I think honesty is the key to all these dating apps.
I agree.
Don't lie about your
Totally.
age. And
Put
men
it
and
out
women,
there.
yes.
Put your height out there because
Yes.
you know what? Someone's going to find out when
Yeah.
you meet her.
Yes.
She's going to
Yes.
find out that you're not that tall. But she may also find out that you have a sparkling personality.
I like that. And I do like that a lot. And I think that, people just, if we can all keep it real in these dating apps, don't use
Totally
10-year-old
agree.
pictures. Post your height like you're talking about. Women and men, women especially, stop photoshopping your face.
Okay,
Or
I have another
filtering.
one, Nicole. I have another one.
Okay.
All right, so I heard some women talking about another man this week and saying he has bad teeth. How does that make you feel?
Oh my gosh.
If you see a man in person or on the dating app with bad teeth, how does that make you feel?
Okay, so I dive into this subject of men grooming themselves. They hold us, I think, to a higher standard of what we should do. And guys, at the bare minimum, get your teeth white. I mean,
Yes.
here you are driving an
Please.
expensive car,
Please.
opening your wallet. Okay, trim your eyebrows, get rid of the hair in your ears and in your nose, and whiten your teeth.
Oh, well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just common courtesy, to yourself and to your partner is to take care of yourself. And the thing is, when we look in your mouth and it's dirty, we're thinking, what else is dirty?
Ooh.
I
Ooh.
mean, like,
I never
if
thought
that's
of it
how
that
he
way.
keeps what I can see, how's the rest of him look?
Ooh. Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking, Nicole?
No, I didn't. I just get caught up on, like, all of a sudden I see the food in the teeth, like they've never been introduced to floss, and they want to kiss you, and I'm like, no. So it's like, it's just, I don't understand how they don't pay attention to these things. It's so small. Do
Okay,
it.
well, I got another one off subject here. So this happened to me. I don't want to be petty, but this happened to me the last couple nights out. I was out in Meisner Park. And
Our place.
Yeah. And I was with these, it ended up being two couples that I was with. I'm a solo person, so I'm just like kind of blend in and stuff like this. And we're all talking. And honestly, I know them all better than they know each other. Okay. But then all of a sudden they strike up this friendship. This happened to me 2 nights in a row, the last 2 nights. And then they're fighting over who's going to pay each other's bill. No one was fighting over who's going to pay my bill. Now, I don't want to seem petty, but is it even worth it? I mean, like, how does that make you feel? Would you be like kind of feeling left out? Or does it just not matter to you? You'd be like, oh, well, I'm one of them. It's okay. How would it make you feel?
That's a good one.
Kind of made me feel left out.
I think, I'm very much walking into anything thinking I'm paying my own bill.
Well, I was thinking I was
Yeah.
paying my own
Yeah.
bill, but then when they
Yeah.
all started fighting over it, I'm like, did it occur to
Yeah.
anyone to?
Yeah.
No, I didn't have to say no. I didn't
Yeah.
have to say any of that. Nobody even looked at me like it was a thought.
So you felt left out
I
completely,
just
like an
kinda felt a little
afterthought.
left out.
Like an afterthought.
Well,
It's
like I was
yeah.
involved in all the conversation and everything like that, and they were all my friends, and I don't feel bad about it at all.
Yeah. Did they order like a bunch of appetizers that,
No.
know? Good. Okay. Well, I'd rather be that way than all of a sudden you out to dinner with people and they order a bunch of appetizers you don't want and then they ask you to split the bill. That would annoy me more.
Right. Well, that has happened too. Yeah. Okay. So next one. How does it make you feel when you are at a bar and I'm going to give you the picture because I was at Max's.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of my things happen because that's where I go a lot because I don't have to drive if I go there because I live in Meisner Park.
Right.
So first thing, I've got these out of order a little bit, but the first thing that happened was I was sitting there talking to this very handsome man that I clearly have missed because I've been spending a lot of time at Eddie V's and I have been out of circulation at Max's. But anyway.
Is it
I was-
different?
What?
Are they different? Like, I do Eddie V's.
It's a whole different crowd. A whole
Is
different
it?
crowd.
Oh.
And so, but the last few nights I've been going to Max's having a good time.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting there talking to this nice man. Oh, I actually referred to him in one of my past shows because I thought he was the guy where things didn't go very well, but he kept waving at me. And I was
Okay.
like, why is he waving at me when we had such a great 6-hour date and he never called me the next day? But it turned out this wasn't the same guy. It turned out that happened a year ago. And this guy is some Italian guy who just was being nice, just waving to me, I guess. Yeah. So he was like, boy, now I really want to hear the story of what happened with that guy. As soon as I found out it was a different guy. But anyway, so what happened was we were getting along famously, and then his date got there. And I didn't know he had a date, okay? But clearly it was a date because she showed up wearing a jacket with a sports bra underneath, and he stopped what he was doing right away and ordered her a champagne.
Oh, boy.
A little bottle of
Was
champagne.
she younger?
Okay, now I asked him this after we met, and he said she was like in her 40s. So that was like respectable,
That's
but honestly,
respectable.
she did look younger.
Okay.
But wait till I tell you, she took the jacket off. It was hot. She was hot here in Florida with her jacket on. And it's been kind of chilly.
I know.
I was kind of surprised.
I'm
with
loving that a little bit.
But let me tell you, nobody could look any better than this woman did after she took her jacket off and stood there in her sports bra. And so I just wondered how that would make you feel. I mean, like you're sitting there feeling like you're connected with somebody, and you're dressed very professionally. You're not dressed like
Well,
in a sports
if I'm keeping
bra.
it real with you, I am that girl wearing the sports bra.
You're the
And,
sports bra girl?
No, not her position, but I
With
do dress a
great
little.
looking breasts.
I do dress. I mean, listen, I'm proud of my body. I worked hard and I'm going to put it out there. But here's the thing. When I'm with a guy and if your eyes are not here and you're turning your head and breaking it every time a girl walks by, move along. You're not my guy. Do not disrespect a woman and look at other women when you're with somebody.
Well, anyway, she and I really ended up hitting it off.
Oh.
She was very nice.
Okay.
Yes. And so that was the end of that. But then, well, really wasn't the end, because do you know what she did to me then?
What?
After like making me feel this small because her breasts looked so good in her sports bra at night when we were having dinner at a bar, she started telling me, trying to push me off onto some old guy standing there.
Oh,
like
boy.
that was my type. Like her boyfriend, who isn't 2 years older than me, isn't the guy I should be with. It's the old guy. She was trying to push me off. Well, look at him. Like, I don't know what she was saying, but I was just like, are you kidding me?
Did you feel insulted?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I was like, what makes you think that this is my type when your boyfriend is 2 years older than me? That's not my type. How would that make you feel, Nicole?
Yeah, I think what she was trying to do there is make you move along a little bit and trying to put you down. Unfortunately, some women are jealous and someone put other women down. Don't do that. Lift each other up. And that's what she was doing.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
100%.
Maybe that was it. All right, so here's another one.
I like these.
These are just things
These
that I
are
come
good
across,
ones. I
Nicole, that
love
I
it.
just, I mean, things just hit me and I just have to ask somebody. So that's
Yeah.
why you're here, so I
I
can
love
ask
it.
you. But anyway, okay, so now I'm wondering, what does it mean to you? Because I know yesterday we had a lot of different opinions. What does it mean to you to feel safe? From you, I mean, I think we all need men to make us feel safe. So what does that mean to you?
That is such a loaded question because I'm in a place in my life where my heart, boom, boom, lock and key right now. So that is my journey right now where I'm at. But in general, to feel safe, you have to be trusted. I have to trust you.
That's exactly right.
And it's really,
I agree.
for me, it's a really hard thing to get. But I think that's number one. And
Not be with a man whose eyes are looking
No,
around the room.
no.
That's not going to make you feel safe, is it?
I need somebody with the same love language to make me feel safe as well. And I want a man, just because I'm accomplished and I'm a confident woman, does not mean I don't want to be in the arms of a man holding me and let my femininity, my godness is what somebody referred to, take over and just let us just melt into you. That is how I feel safe. I love being in men's arms and just feeling that embrace and like, I got you. Because
Yeah.
sometimes
There's nothing better than that.
there's
I will
nothing.
agree.
And we're alone making all these decisions in life. It is nice sometimes to just let go and just be in that moment.
So what makes you feel safe is touch. I mean,
Physical
it's
touch. Yeah, but again, I mean, obviously trust is number one. and you have to earn that. And I don't know where I am on that because, since I became a widow, the 2 people I was with broke my trust. So that wall goes up. So it's going to take a lot to get that wall down for me. But I think physical touch is big on trust, communication, and the little things a man does also makes me feel safe, believe it or not. Like, oh, let me put gas in your car. Let me fix the tires. Or just like it's the little things.
Taking care of you.
Taking care of me. And I love that. I love that.
too.
I'm old, which we learned. I'm more old fashioned than Tracy. And I like.
Doesn't mean I'm that out there either.
No. But I mean, like, I like the courtship. I love the building.
I love the courtship too.
Yeah. But, I'm just, I'm like, guys, like, these are my expectations. This is what I want. And it is all about feeling safe. And it takes a lot. I think what happens is
Trust,
Yes.
respect,
Yeah.
safety.
Respect. That's a big one. I
Respect.
love a guy that likes my opinion and asks my opinion on something. That means a lot. Because
I
that means
agree.
he respects you and values you.
Okay, I have 2 more. All right, I'm going to put them in different order because I had the last one I just thought of this morning. But I want to ask you, how does it make you feel? And I shared a little bit about this with you before the show. How does it make you feel? Because this happened to me yesterday after we met. When you match with someone on a dating app after you have a business meeting with them. How does that make you feel, Nicole?
Okay, sorry.
Just curious. Room, so I just want to know how that makes you feel.
Well, first of all, I have to be honest, I've done it in my younger years. And I think at this point in my life, I would not mix my business that I worked hard to build with dating. And
Okay.
I would go swipe, what is it? Swipe left for wrong? Is it swipe left, right?
It's
Yeah.
swipe left for don't
Swipe
like.
on. For me, it's
But
swipe
honestly,
on.
in his defense, I don't know, and in my defense, I think that could have happened before the meeting. We could have matched
Yeah.
and both. And then after the meeting, my response to him when we matched this morning was, "Ha, funny." Which before the show today, he still had not responded. So he may be where you are on this too, right?
Yeah, I at this point in my life, I wouldn't mix. I
Well,
wouldn't.
now I'm a little bit more flexible than Nicole. And you know what? You never know why people come into your life. That's
Yeah,
what I think. You
very
never know
true.
why people come into your life. And I always, you know what? So we meet. Maybe we're friends. Maybe we're business partners. Maybe we're more. Who knows?
Yeah.
And so I don't really draw a lot from that. From just freaking matching on a.
So wait, are you
dating.
gonna swipe right on him? Like,
I already did. I already swiped right, and then I
Okay.
didn't realize who it was
Oh, my
until I
goodness.
saw it.
Oh, my
Like I think I
goodness.
swiped right before I met him yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Which is probably what he did. Maybe I don't know.
Wow.
I hardly ever go to those dating apps, but anyway, that was kind of just funny.
Yeah.
Funny, right?
No, it is. It's comical. Life. People do come into your life for a purpose. I totally agree
Yeah.
with you on that. Yeah.
Okay, so my last one. Okay. How do you feel about people? All right, we've got a restaurant around here called the Meat Market.
I was just there last night.
And women swarm this place to find the man of their dreams. Is that why you were there?
No, I was with my best friend. It was just happened to be in the middle. But yes, 2 men
My
tried to buy a straight.
question is, okay. Well, I think I don't go there late enough to meet the men that are really awesome, because when I go there, it's like happy hour, and like that's not my crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been told by a very handsome man that I know who's in a relationship, so he's not my market.
Mm-hmm.
But he told me that he was going there one night with a bunch of guys. A couple of times he's told me that. And I'm like, please go there by yourself, have fun. Like that's not where I want to be any day
Yeah.
of the week. I'm just not that girl that wants to go to the pickup joint and pick up. I'm not that girl anymore, because you know what? I don't feel like, and maybe this is my own self-confidence, but I don't feel like I'm the one that's going to stand out to them. I'm from Miami, where they've got these model-esque women coming in, and, they're the ones that are going to draw that crowd. Mm-hmm. Anyway, how does that make you feel, Nicole? Do you feel different than me? Do you feel like you could spark a guy's interest at one of those gatherings with those handsome men?
I
Do you think they're going to stop? Because my response, too, is these freaking women throw themselves at these men. And I am not going to be that woman.
100%. And that word desperate comes in to my mind right now as we're talking about it. But here's the thing. I don't do the bar scene at all, period, anywhere. But the only time I will do a bar scene is if a group of girls want to. So, like, I'm eating dinner and two guys tried to buy me a drink, and I very gracefully got up, thanked them, and said, thank you very much. I'm all set. I know it's the way back in our 20s and 30s that we used to date, but I find it's just a scene I don't want to be any part of. So I don't do the bar scene. I just don't.
I'm not there either. I could not care less. Like, there's nowhere I'd rather be. There's anywhere I'd rather be besides there at a pickup joint with a bunch of men.
Yeah.
You know, when I go out to eat at night, it's for happy hour, just like socializing with friends or nice dinner or something like that. Yeah. That's in our 50s. I think we both agree that that's not where we want to be, right?
No, I don't want to meet a man
But
there.
probably the men that are there, I'm going to throw this out there, are not looking for the women in their 50s. They're looking for the women in their
Ding,
20s and
ding,
30s,
ding.
right?
30s and 40s, I think.
Right.
I would go 30 and 40s.
Post
Yeah.
down below if I got a yay, bingo. That's right, Tracy. You got it. You can read us.
Yep.
Post down below.
Yep.
And post down below if you are on our train of thought. Like maybe you want to go out to a nice dinner or just laugh with friends at happy hour.
Yeah. Like I was in a dining room. I wasn't in the bar area. It just was a convenient location, you know. So yeah, I get really uncomfortable standing in a bar. I don't like men. I don't like men just staring at me and making small talk. I don't like it. I
Right.
just don't.
Is there anything else? All right, that completes our section on how does that make you feel. Is there anything else that you can think of right now offhand that you want to include in this conversation?
Yeah.
What?
I know you feel a little different about this, but men, you expect us to look a certain way on a date. You level it up. Bring your A game. Treat us like ladies. That's something I just want to say.
How does that make you feel when your date shows up maybe less dressed up than you are? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's like I put in the effort. Say we're going to dinner, and he shows up disheveled and in like sunglasses around his neck, and it's 7:00 at night. And it's like, could you spend 5 minutes, like, making sure you're wearing a decent shirt and iron it and care and put your A game out there when you show up. So it's just like I think society expects women to do it, and we're not holding men accountable all the time for doing it. And I think in our area, a lot of men leave with their wallet. So I think they feel like they don't have to, because there are women that are like, oh, I'm fine with that because sugar daddy is buying me XYZ. And you got all these wonderful women in their 50s that have everything together and offer a lot more, actually, than these younger women. And you know what? Your wallet is not going to get us to date you.
Well, there you go. That completes our How Does That Make You Feel portion of the show. And now we're going to get ready for the Real Estate Minute.
Ooh.
And today's Real Estate Minute has been brought to us by New York Times. All right, so there is a new bill that is being introduced just 1 year before the election, okay? This bill will prevent hedge funds from owning single-family homes in the U.S., okay? Because that's what's going on here, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
They're all being bought up by these hedge funds.
Yep.
And so Wall Street is buying up houses and competing with the buyers. That's why the houses prices are going up, okay? So if this bill gets passed, the housing prices are going to what? They're going to go down. But the people that don't want this bill to get passed are telling everybody don't pass it because it's going to cause the housing prices to go up. Okay, the bill is called End Hedge Fund Control of American Homes Act, it's introduced to the House of Representatives, okay? And so what you can do to make sure that bill does not get passed is go to the House of Representatives and vote yes, okay? This is if you can vote yes, this is going to stop the overpriced rentals situation that we have going on now too, because people tell me they're like, who lives in those buildings? Who's buying all those apartments? It's because all these big Wall Street hedge fund companies are coming in and buying all the places so that the little guy who just wants to buy a single family home can't afford it. and can't even beat them, right?
No, I mean, and it's really sad. You have people that work in Boca Raton and they can't even afford to live anywhere near a person that is hourly paid. And it's become ridiculous. I mean, and you hear the homeless level has gone up. And, it's really just sad what's happening in this bubble. And I agree with you. It's ridiculous. We in Boca Raton are a different bubble than like Ohio or something.
Right.
Our prices are right now.
Yeah.
And, I feel bad for a lot of people that work hard, sometimes work 2 jobs and they can't afford right now. And they deserve it. They work in the American dream and they can't afford it.
Well, so what this bill is saying, that the investors are going to have to sell 10% of homes owned every year over a 10-year period, okay? And then they cannot buy any more, okay? If it passes, almost 600,000 actively single-family homes will be owned by the hedge fund will be up for sale. So that could be a really good thing to happen for most of the people out there.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And if you own more than 75 single-family homes, you're going to get charged $10,000 a year for every home you own. Okay, probably won't pass, they say, but if the bill does pass, it will make buying single-family homes more affordable for you guys.
And
So there's
well-deserved.
a good reason for us to try to make sure that we can get that bill passed, right?
I agree. Well deserved. Thank you
Yes.
for bringing that up, Tracy. That was a good one.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, is there anything else that we can talk about today? Anything else about dating or
Yeah, I mean, there's so many subjects, I mean,
anything
listen.
else you want to cover before we close up things here?
I think being honest. I just want to see people being honest with each other, whether it's in person, on the social media platforms. Because if you start a relationship lying, like you talked about height, okay? If you start something and you lie at the beginning or you post old pictures, basically, it's a lie. You show up and it's a different person. Where's that relationship going to go if
Right.
you start it with a lie?
Right.
Be honest.
Right. Well, it's important for you all, please, to subscribe to our channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like this video, because if you're still watching, that means you liked it. And post your thoughts underneath. How do you feel about what Nicole's saying? Do you agree with Nicole? Do you agree with me that you're a little bit more flexible? I'm reading all your thoughts, and I'd love to hear what y'all have to say. And if you need help buying, selling, investing in real estate, I want to be the one that can help you find the perfect realtor out there if you don't already have one. If you have one, please work with that agent, because they're going to be able to negotiate you the best price on that property. Okay? And so, Nicole, do you want to share how people can get a hold of you and what you've...
Yes, definitely not at a bar, first of all, okay? You're not getting a hold of me at a bar. Well, you can pull up my name, Nicole Chanis, or you can go to 50saf.com is my website, and that gets you to everything that is representative of my podcast, and also a little stuff that's called, more personal interviews, we'll just call it. And, I think both Tracy and I, what I love is we love lifting people up. So I know on our podcast, it's all about women embracing them, lifting them up, not holding your head down. Okay? We're going to give you tools and feel like a community where you can embrace and learn and know you're not alone. And you know what? If I reach one person, just one person, and make them feel better, I've done my job.
Well, it's the year of Tracy 2024. And that means this year, I'm just part of my thing is to help serve you, okay? To help serve women to be better and to feel better and be more confident and overcome those kind of challenges that we have gone through. And to have the confidence to know that, you know what, you are the best and you're going to get even better as much as active as you are, and to keep your thoughts in check, and to always be working on keeping your thoughts in check, manifesting, meditating.
Yes.
Do you meditate?
Well, I'm in Pilates. I go into Pilates. That's my Zen space. So I think mental health is really, really critical that you have boundaries for, and you need that space. You need that time. It's good for your body chemistry as well as your mental health, and then it helps you out there in the dating world too.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you find that it helps you in the dating world?
Well, I think, there's chemicals. So things get released when you're working out. And I think it helps you feel more confident about yourself. Anything that's going to help your self-esteem, make you feel better physically, chemically wise, or have confidence, is going to help you because, let's face it, feel your best. You're an amazing woman.
Or man. There's a lot of men out there watching this.
Yes, okay. But, men have to be held accountable to the same way that I think women are being held accountable in the dating world. So just as much as men expect women to look and, all that, I think men need to understand that, hey, it could be on you too. Don't just expect us to bring the A game. You take care of yourself. You stay healthy. You put your best foot forward. Let's all put our best foot forward and feel good about each other and hopefully find that special someone, right? That's what you want to do.
Well, I think it matters what you put in your head. And that's why whenever I'm feeling like I'm fighting negativity, I always just go and put on something that I can listen to on YouTube, a manifesting video that I just listen to, or finding my soulmate video, making more money in all different ways. I think this is just so important. I now have told the viewers that I listen to this stuff when I go to sleep now because I find that my mind is the most receptive to those kind of thoughts.
That's nice.
Before, when I'm just sleeping. And I never used to be able to listen to this stuff because I always used to be woken up by whatever's going on. But you know what? I think it matters what you're listening to. And that helps. Have you tried that at all?
No, I
Nicole?
just snuggle with my dogs, and their belly against me gives me that calming feeling.
Okay, well that's
I don't have a man, so my dogs are my they ground me at night.
Yeah.
That's my grounding.
well. I mean, that's wonderful. So, well, what else can we talk about real quick here? We got 3 more minutes. What do you want to talk about?
That's so easy. Okay, you know what, guys and girls, stop playing games. Can we talk about that? No game playing. You know what? Don't say to a woman or a man that you're only seeing them and then you're seeing other people. What do you feel about that? How annoying is it to find out that someone was playing a game with your heart?
Oh, that hurts. Well, that was one that I didn't read, actually. I didn't do the how does it make you feel when your boyfriend breaks up with you and it devastates you. That's one I didn't share, but actually
been there.
That's something. Have you been there?
I have.
Because I've been there, too.
And you know what's really interesting?
And it's really devastating.
I cried. I cried a lot, and I became this wounded bird. And then one day I said, oh, my God, he's so beneath me. What happened? I lost myself in that relationship. Everything was about him.
So what would you say that women should do when they're faced with that? Their boyfriend broke up with them. Their boyfriend cheated on them. Their husband, whatever. Or men out there that have the woman can do the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
So what I always like to look at things the positive way. What can we do? What with the knowledge that we have right now? What can we help other people to do to deal with that situation?
I think it goes back to what I talked about, loving yourself, and you never lose sight of yourself. Period. Meaning you have your own identity, you have your own things in life. Women and men, don't give up your friends for a relationship because you know what? When it ends, where are you? With nobody. So it's really important that you love yourself, you have an identity, you enjoy your own hobbies, and don't make the mistake of giving up your friends because it's all about you too. No, you got to keep it going. Keep who you are. So when you get dumped, let's say hypothetically, you have all those things still intact. It helps a little bit recovering.
Well, here's what I would say. What I just said. It matters what goes in your head. It matters what you're saying to yourself because it's easy to say that to people, Nicole.
Yeah.
But then how do they do that? So I would say go to the videos that are out there for you for free on YouTube or wherever you go to help you sleep soundly. Fill your mind with positive thoughts as you sleep because it will come out during the day. You will see it.
I
you
like
will
that.
see the changes. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm just so glad you came today, Nicole.
Thank you.
We had such a blast yesterday
We
on her podcast,
did.
too. You'll see it on my Being Tracy page. You can see Being Tracy on Facebook. at www.facebook.com/Being Tracy, just like you see it spelled on the TV. And then I've also got the YouTube channel, Spotify. I don't know if I'm still on Apple. You'll have to message below and let me know. But I'm also on some great radio stations from Fort Pierce to all the way down to the Keys. So, put down below where you're hearing me, because I just love it to know that I'm getting all this amazing coverage now. And look forward to serving you and helping you stay happier and being more productive this year, because I think it's going to be an awesome 2024.
Absolutely.
Don't you, Nicole?
I absolutely do. And I absolutely love everything you stand for and you put out there, and the positivity and the mindset. And I hope my podcast does the same thing. You can come from different angles, but we all just want to help people. So 50saf.com.
You got it.
Yes.
Make it a great week. Talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend, too. Bye-bye.